The whistle blew, and the stadium erupted like a bomb had gone off in the stands. Cheers crashing over us like waves on a Jersey Shore break. But I just stood there, frozen. As Jake's hand lingered a second too long on my shoulder, his fingers brushing the nape of my neck in a way that said everything his mouth never would. "We did it, man," he whispered, his breath hot against my ear, voice cracking like he was holding back a storm. But before I could turn and face him, the crowd's roar swallowed us whole, and I wondered if this championship win was the beginning of our end. In that split second, with the confetti raining down and my heart slamming against my ribs, I realized the simple beer and burgers night I'd planned for the team was about to shatter like the goalpost we'd just demolished. It was the fall of my senior year at Elmwood State, a scrappy Division II school tucked in the Rust Belt heart of Ohio, where Friday nights meant bonfires and high school dreams that never quite faded. Our football team, the Elmwood Eagles, wasn't supposed to make it to the conference finals. Hell, we weren't even supposed to sniff the playoffs. I was the wide receiver, number 22, the guy who ran patterns like my life depended on it because, back then, it kind of did. Grew up in a trailer park outside Cleveland. Dad splitting when I was 10, Mom working doubles at the mill to keep the lights on. Football was my ticket out, or so I told myself every time I laced up those cleats. But Jake Harlan was the captain. The golden boy quarterback with the arm like a cannon and a smile that could sell out a county fair. 6'2", broad shoulders from summers baling hay on his family's farm. Dirty blonde hair that fell just right under his helmet. We called him Harlan the Hurricane, because he barreled through defenses like they were made of tissue paper. And me, Ethan Flash Riley. Quicker than a fox in a henhouse, they said, but inside, I was always chasing shadows. That hook in the huddle wasn't the first time Jake's touch had lingered. It started innocently enough, back in freshman year, when Coach paired us up for drills. I'd catch a slant route, and he'd be there, steady as a rock, hand on my back to steady me after a hit. "You good, Flash?" he'd ask, those green eyes locking on mine like he was reading my playbook. At first, I chalked it up to team spirit, guys slapping backs, hyping each other up. But Ohio boys like us, raised on church picnics and hunting trips, didn't talk about the way a guy's laugh could twist your gut or how sharing a motel room on away games left you staring at the ceiling, listening to his breathing sync with yours. I didn't have the words for it then. Hell, I barely do now. The win against Rivorton was biblical. Fourth quarter, down by 6, 2 minutes left. Jake drops back, scans the field, me streaking down the sideline, double covered, and lofts it up like he's tossing a prayer. The ball hangs in the lights, a perfect arc, and I leap, twisting midair, snagging it one-handed while the safety's helmet clips my thigh. Touchdown. Game over. The crowd loses its mind. My teammates pile on like we've just stormed Normandy. But through the dog pile, I see Jake pushing through, helmet off, sweat-streaked face breaking into that grin. He hauls me up, pulls me into a bear hug that crushes the air from my lungs, and for a heartbeat, the world narrows to the salt on his skin, the thud of his heart against mine. "Couldn't have done it without you," he murmurs, low enough that only I hear. I pull back, punch his pads lightly. "Bullshit. That's all you, QB." Locker room's a zoo after towel snapping, Gatorade showers, coach barking about state semis next week. I'm toweling off, mind already on the celebration I'd pitched. Low-key, just the starters at O'Malley's pub, wings and pitchers, no fuss. We'd earned it quiet-like, the way real teams bond, not some rah-rah spectacle. But Jake's got other ideas. He's in the corner, phone out, rallying the whole squad plus half the cheerleaders, plotting a blowout at the old mill by the river. Bonfire, kegs, live band from the AG school. "Come on, Flash," he says, slinging an arm around my neck as we head out. "Live a little. This is our year." His arm's heavy, warm through my hoodie, and I shrug it off, muttering about needing to crash early. Truth is, I want it simple because spectacles mean eyes on us, and eyes mean questions I ain't ready to answer. We pile into trucks, the caravan snaking through Elmwood's leaf-choked streets, sodium lamps buzzing overhead like fireflies on steroids. Fall air crisp, carrying the scent of wood smoke and distant rain. Jake's F-150 leads the pack, me shotgun, unspoken tradition. Radio's blasting Springsteen, Glory Days, and he's singing off-key, one hand on the wheel, the other drumming my knee like it's the most natural thing. I laugh it off, but my pulse betrays me, racing faster than on that game-winning route. We park in the gravel lot by the mill, a hulking relic from the steel boom days, now just graffiti canvas and echo chamber for teenage rebellion. The bonfire's already roaring, courtesy of the linemen, flames licking 20 feet high, casting shadows that dance like ghosts. The party's in full swing by the time we crack the first keg. Laughter bounces off the brick walls, girls in flannel and boots giggling at linemen's jokes, the band tuning up with twangy covers of Jason Aldean. I grab a solo cup, lean against a rusted beam, watching Jake hold court by the fire, arm around Tommy the fullback, then a cheerleader named Becca, his laugh booming. He's magnetic, always has been, the kind of guy who makes you believe in underdogs and second chances. But tonight, there's an edge to it, like he's performing for an audience that includes me. Our eyes meet across the flames, and he winks, quick, conspiratorial. My stomach flips. I down my beer, signal for another. Hours blur. Stories of busted plays and childhood pranks. The band ripping into Sweet Home Alabama, while couples sway in the dirt. I'm 3 in when Jake sidles up, cup in hand, smelling like smoke and hops. Hiding out, he teases, nudging my shoulder. I shrug. Just decompressing. He studies me, firelight carving hollows in his cheeks. You were unreal tonight, Ethan. That catch? Poetry. His voice drops on my name, like it's a secret. Heat creeps up my neck. Not from the fire. Team effort. I mumble, but he's closer now, our arms brushing. The band's loud, but not loud enough to drown the what-if screaming in my head. Then it happens, the first crack in the night. Becca's there, tugging Jake's sleeve, her laugh bright as the stars wheeling overhead. Dance with me, Captain. He hesitates, glances at me, then goes, sweeping her into a spin, her head thrown back in delight. I turn away, jaw tight, the beer turning sour in my gut. Stupid, this jealousy gnawing like a bad hit. He's straight as an arrow, dated half the sorority row. I'm the fool reading signals in static. But as I wander to the river's edge, stones skipping underfoot, I hear footsteps crunching behind. Ethan, wait up. It's him, alone, jacket zipped against the chill. You okay? Concern etches his face, boyish in the moonlight. I force a grin. Yeah, just needed air. He steps closer, too close, the space between us charged like pre-snap tension. Look, about the party, I know you wanted low-key. But this is us. Celebrating like we mean it. His hand finds my arm, squeezes. And you're the heart of it, Flash. Always have been. The words hang, heavy with subtext I dare not unpack. I pull away gently. Appreciate it, Jake. Really. But inside, the hook from the huddle tugs deeper, pulling me toward a truth that's been simmering since that first drill. We walk back in silence. The fire's glow welcoming like a false dawn. The band's on a break, stories turning rowdier. Tommy recounting a fumble from 22 that cost us homecoming. Laughter swells, but Jake's quiet now, nursing his drink, eyes on the flames. I slide onto a log beside him, our knees touching. Remember that motel in Pittsburgh? He says suddenly, voice low. Away game, sophomore year, storm knocked out the power. We shared a room, candles flickering, talking till dawn about everything and nothing. Dad's abandonment, his old man's expectations, dreams of pro tryouts that felt as fragile as the wax dripping down. Yeah, I say, throat tight. Best night of the road trip. He turns, gaze intense. Best night, period. The admission lands like a blindside tackle, stealing my breath. Before I can respond, a cheer goes up. The band's back, launching into Friends in Low Places. Jake stands, hauls me up with him. Come on, one dance. For the win. It's a joke. Guys don't dance. But his hands firm in mine, pulling me into the fray. We shuffle awkwardly at first, laughing. But then it shifts, bodies closer, the crowd a blur. His hand at my waist, mine on his shoulder. And for a stolen minute, it's just us, swaying to Garth Brooks like the world's narrowed to this mill and this song. My heart's a drumline, pounding out a rhythm I can't ignore. Then Becca's voice cuts through. Jake, over here. He freezes, drops his hand like it's burned. Duty calls, he mutters, vanishing into the throng. I retreat to the shadows, chest aching, the night's magic souring. Betrayal? Not yet, but the seeds planted, this pull between us, unspoken, unsustainable. As the fire dies to embers and trucks rumble to life, I climb into the F-150, Jake sliding behind the wheel, silent now. The drive home's thick with unsaid words, headlights carving tunnels through the dark. Tonight was epic, he says finally at a stoplight. I nod, staring at the dashboard. Yeah, epic. But as Elmwood's lights flicker past, I know the real game's just beginning. The one where hearts fumble and lines blur, and a simple celebration becomes the spark that ignites it all. The weeks after the Rivorton win blurred into a grind of practices under Coach's iron fist, the field turning to mud as Ohio's November rains hammered down like Judgment Day. State semis loomed, a rematch with Central Michigan, the team that had crushed our dreams last year in overtime heartbreak. Mornings started at dawn with sprints that left my quads screaming, afternoons in the weight room grunting through deadlifts while Jake spotted me, his voice a steady anchor. One more, flash. You got this. Evenings? Study hall in the library, me buried in kinesiology notes, him across the table in AG Econ, foot nudging mine under the desk. Accidental, always accidental. Or so we pretended. That dance at the mill haunted me, replaying in quiet moments like a glitchy highlight reel. I catch myself staring in the mirror, wondering what he saw when he looked at me. The scrawny kid from the trailer park who'd bulked up on protein shakes and sheer will, or something more, something dangerous. Elmwood wasn't San Francisco. It was Friday night lights and Sunday sermons, where fag was still locker room currency, tossed like a bad pass. Coming out? Not an option. Not with scouts sniffing around, NFL dreams dangling like carrots. And Jake, God, Jake had the world mapped out. Farm takeover after graduation, maybe a coaching gig, a wife from the county fair circuit, kids in Little Eagles jerseys. I was the detour, the what-if whispered in the dark. But detours have a way of turning into dead ends. It started small. A text at 2 a.m. after a nightmare about Dad. Can't sleep. You up? Me, always for you. Then calls during away bus rides. Him in the back row, voice muffled. Tell me about Cleveland. The real shit, not the postcards. I'd spin tales of lake effect snow and pierogi stands. Him laughing soft, saying, sounds like home, home. The word lodged in my chest like a splinter. By mid-November, it escalated. Post-practice showers, him lingering under the spray, back turned but aware, the steam thick as our silence. One night, after a brutal two-a-day, we ended up at my off-campus apartment. Dive with peeling wallpaper and a futon that sagged like defeat. Just for pizza, he said. But the box sat untouched on the coffee table as we sprawled on the floor, beers cracking open, TV droning some Steelers game neither watched. Ever think about after? He asked, staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin. Pro ball, I mean. I hesitated, the question loaded. Sometimes, but reality's a bitch. Most of us wash out. He rolled to face me, elbow propped, eyes searching. Not you. You're too fast, too smart. You'll make it. His hand found my forearm, thumb tracing a vein. Innocent, maybe, but the air crackled. And you? Farm life suit the hurricane. He snorted. Dad's pushing. Legacy, he calls it. But legacy's just chains if it's not yours. Vulnerability cracked his voice, rare as a fair catch. I covered his hand with mine, stilling it. Then break him. You're Jake Harlan. You don't do chains. He didn't pull away. Instead, he shifted closer, our breaths mingling, the room shrinking to the space between. Ethan, he said, my name a question, a plea. Time stretched, taut as a goal line stand. Then his lips brushed mine. Not a kiss, not quite, but a graze that ignited everything. Fireworks behind my eyes, heart jackhammering. I leaned in, tentative, and he met me halfway, soft at first, then urgent, like a dam bursting after a season's rain. Hands in hair, bodies pressing, the world outside forgotten. It lasted seconds, maybe minutes. Time lost meaning, but when we broke apart, gasping, reality crashed back. His eyes wide, panicked. Shit. We can't. He bolted, door slamming like a gunshot. I sat there, stunned, lips tingling, the apartment echoing with absence. Betrayal? Not from him, not yet. From myself, maybe, for wanting what I knew would wreck us. I didn't sleep that night, replaying the grays, the urgency, the flight. By morning, he was all business at practice. Crisp snaps, no eye contact. I matched it, running routes like a ghost, but the team's chemistry frayed, passes sailing high, blocks missing beats. Coach noticed, barked at us in film room. Harlan, Riley? What's with the disconnect? You two synced like clockwork last game. Jake muttered apologies. I stared at the projector screen, cheeks burning. The semis arrived like a freight train, Greyhound buses rumbling into Mount Pleasant under a slate sky. Central Michigan's field was a fortress, sold-out stands, their chips fans waving foam axes like battle cries. We suited up in the visitor's locker, the air thick with liniment and nerves. Jake cornered me pregame, voice low in the tunnel. About the other night. Forget it. Okay? Heat of the moment. Brothers, right? His smile was forced, eyes pleading. I nodded, throat closing. Brothers. But as we jogged out to enter Sandman thundering, his hand clapped my pads, brief, brotherly, and I felt the lie settle like mud in my cleats. Game was a war. Central blitzed early, sacking Jake twice, his jersey muddied, resolve hardening. I burned their secondary on a post route, hauling in a 40-yarder that put us up 10-7 at half. Halftime speech from coach. This is your legacy, boys. Fight for it. Jake led the Eagles. Chant, fist pumping, but his gaze skipped mine. Second half, we traded blows. Field goals, picks, a thunderous hit on me that rang my bell, stars exploding. Down 20-17, 1:30 left. Ball on our 28. Jake under center, calls the audible. Flash, 22 go. I nod, adrenaline surging. Hike, drop back, pressure collapsing. He scrambles, plants, fires, a bullet over the defense into my hands at midfield. First down. Clock ticking, crowd a roar. Next play, screen to Tommy, grinding to the 30. Then it's do or die. Me on a fade, one-on-one with their corner. Jake's throw floats perfect, I leap, contact, helmet to ribs, but I secure it in the end zone. Touchdown. Uproar. Teammates swarm, but Jake's there first, lifting me off the turf, spinning me in triumph. Yes, that's my flash. His yell cracks, raw joy, and for a second, arms locked. It's the mill all over again. Us against the world. Overtime sealed it. Our defense stuffs their run. Jake kneels from victory formation. Final, 27-20. The bus ride home's euphoric, songs, slaps, plans for the big one. National quarters against Florida Tech. But in the back, Jake and me side by side, silent. The wind's glow dimming. His knee presses mine, stays. I don't move it. At my stop, he grips my shoulder. Proud of you, Ethan. Voice husky. I murmur back, same. And bolt before the dam breaks again. The apartment's cold, empty. I crash on the futon, replaying the catch, the spin, his words. Sleep comes fitful, dreams of fields and forbidden touches. Morning brings texts. Team group chat exploding with clips. Coach scheduling light practice. But Jake's private. Coffee? Need to talk. My gut twists. O'Malley's, 10? His reply, see you there. O'Malley's is Elmwood's heartbeat. Dive bar with sticky floors and a jukebox stocked with Dylan and Seeger. Saturday brunch crowds thin. Farmers in Carhartts. Co-eds nursing hangovers. Jake's in a booth. 2 mugs steaming. Face drawn like he's aged a year overnight. Hey! He slides mine over. I sit, stirring cream, waiting. Last night. The game. You were a beast. Small talk, deflection. I sip, burn my tongue. Spit it out, Harlan. He exhales, runs a hand through his hair. The apartment. I don't know what that was. But it can't happen again. The words land like a sack, wind knocked out. I nod, stealing. Yeah, brothers. Echoing his line, bitter. But he leans in, urgent. It's not that simple. Ethan, I've never. He trails, eyes flicking to the door, back. Felt this. With anyone. You get me. The real me. Not the captain bullshit. Confession hangs, fragile. My heart stutters. Jake. He cuts me off. Hand over mine on the table. Reckless? In public. It is. But Dad, the team scouts. It's a minefield. His thumb strokes my knuckle, electric. Worth it. I whisper. He swallows. Every damn yard. We leave together, his truck idling outside. No kiss, just a look, promise sealed. But as we part, his phone buzzes. Becca. Missed you last night. Dinner? He pockets it, unreadable. Seed of doubt sprouts, but I push it down. Love's a gamble, right? All in. December hit Elmwood like a blindside. First snow dusting the practice fields, turning them to slick ice sheets where footing betrayed you mid-stride. National quarters against Florida Tech loomed in Tampa. A bowl game vibe with palm trees and pressure that could snap a spine. Practices amped up. 7-on-7 drills till dark. Coach diagramming blitz packages on grease boards till our eyes crossed. Jake and I fell into a rhythm. On-field synergy sharper than ever. Passes threading needles, routes run like telepathy. Off-field? Stolen moments. Quick coffees turning to hour-long talks in his truck. Parked by the frozen river. Windows fogged. Hands linked over the console. No more grazes. We were deliberate now. Kisses traded like contraband. Deep and desperate. Tasting of fear and frost. You're addictive, he'd murmur against my neck. Breath clouding the air. And I'd laugh, shaky. Pulling him closer till the bench seat creaked protest. It was romance in fragments, human, messy, alive. We talk futures. Me eyeing grad school at Ohio State for PT, him mulling a redshirt year to chase pros. We'll figure it, he'd say, forehead to mine. Together. Humanistic, yeah, that belief in us as more than jerseys, worthy of grace. But America being America, grace came with thorns. Whispers started. Tommy ribbing Jake about mooning over Flash. Innocent but pointed. Becca cornered me after chem lab. What's with you two? Joined at the hip. Her eyes sharp, hurt flickering. I played dumb, team stuff. But guilt gnawed, betrayal's shadow, even if unspoken. The flight to Tampa was chaos. Chartered prop plane. Team rowdy with card games and trash talk. Jake and I claimed seats in the back, knees bumping, his hoodie sleeve brushing mine like a lifeline. Over the Gulf's turquoise shimmer, he squeezed my hand under the tray table, hidden. Love this. Us. First time he'd said it outright. My chest cracked open. Me too. Turbulence hit then, plane bucking, but we held on, laughing through the fear, our story in microcosm. Tampa's heat was a slap after Ohio chill. Hotel on the bay with balconies overlooking speedboats slicing wakes. Team dinner at a seafood joint. Crab legs and key lime pie. Coach toasting heart over hustle. Jake's foot hooked mine under the table, secret Morse code. Post-meal, guys scattered to the arcade. We slipped out, wandering the waterfront promenade, neon reflecting off waves like scattered stars. Hand in hand in the crowd, tourists, no one knowing us, we were free if only for blocks. Ice cream cones dripped vanilla down our wrists. He licked a stray from my thumb, eyes wicked. Careful, QB. Save that for the end zone. Laughter bubbled. Easy, romantic. But suspense coiled tight. Florida Tech was a machine, speedy backs, a D-line that ate quarterbacks for breakfast. Game day dawned brutal. 85 degrees. Humidity like a wet blanket. Stadium packed. ACC cast-offs and snowbirds waving signs. We took the field to shipping up to Boston. Adrenaline electric. First quarter. They struck quick. 77-yard bomb for a TD. Jake answered with a dime to me over the middle, 32 yards, setting up Tommy's plow into the end zone. Tied. Halftime. 14-14. Coach raging about missed tackles. Jake in the huddle. We got this. Flash. Big plays coming. His wink, our code, steadied me. Third quarter exploded. Their corner jammed me at the line, but I shook him, hauled a slant for 18. Jake scrambled on the next, flipping it backward, illegal motion flag, 10 yards back. Tension ratcheted. He overthrew me on third and long punt. They capitalized. Field goal up 17-14. Crowd's a beast now. Chance of tech attack thundering. Fourth quarter. 8 o'clock left. Us with ball at our 42. Jake drops back. Blitz. Flushed left. Lofts it deep. I'm streaking, safety on my hip. Leap. Interception. Their DB dances into the end zone. 24-14. Gut punch. Timeout. Huddle's grave. Jake's face ashen, helmet dangling. My bad. Won't happen again. But doubt creeps, mine and his. We claw back. Tommy's 22-yard scamper. My third down grab on a curl. Field goal, 24-17. Onside kick, we recover. Jake marches us. Check down to the tight end. Screen to me for 12. Red zone, 1:50 left. Play action. Fake to Tommy. Jake rolls right. Eyes locked on mine, crossing the back. Throw, perfect spiral, but their linebacker reads it, bats it down. 4th and goal. Coach sends in the kicker. 38-yarder, wind whipping. It hooks. Wide left. Heartbreak. Overtime. They score quick, us answering with a run-heavy drive. Jake sneaking it in from the 2. Tied again. Double OT. Fumble on their possession, we pounce. Ball at the 15. Jake calls my number. Fade. Corner trail. Hike. Pressure immediate. He pumps. Resets. Fires. Ball wobbles, underthrown. I adjust, toe-tapping the line. Complete. First down. Then grind, runs, outs. Goal line. QB draw. Jake powers forward, ball secure. Touchdown. Victory. 34-31. Pandemonium, confetti cannons, teammates burying us. Jake hauls me up, helmet smack echoing. We fucking did it. Tears streak his face, joy pure. Post-game, locker room, a steam bath of celebration, high fives, hugs, coach misty-eyed. But Jake pulls me into the training room, door ajar. Wraps me in a crush that borders desperate. Couldn't without you. He breathes, lips brushing my temple. Risky, but the high blinds us. Reporters swarm outside. We emerge, all grins, no tells. Flight home's a party. Beers cracked, coach's blind eye, toasts to semis. Jake's head on my shoulder as we doze. Hand lax in mine under the armrest. Back in Elmwood. Snow blanketing the campus like forgiveness. The high lingers. But reality bites. Becca's calls to Jake multiply. Her texts popping on his screen during our river park-ups. Just friends. He insists, but guilt shadows his eyes. Team banquet looms. Black tie at the VFW hall. Boosters and scouts in attendance. I dread it. Spotlights on Jake as MVP, me as the reliable sidekick. Simple night. I joke, echoing my original plan. He laughs, but it's strained. No spectacles this time. Banquet nights crisp, air sparkling with possibility. I borrow a suit from my roommate, navy, ill-fitting but sharp. Jake picks me up, looking like a recruiting poster in charcoal, tie straight as his passes. Damn, flash, killing it. His whistle's appreciative, hand lingering at my elbow as we pose for pics. Halls decked. Red, white, blue streamers, tables groaning with roast beef and pie. Coach MC's speeches dragging, alumni droning about glory days. Then Jake's up. MVP award, plaque gleaming. He thanks the team, voice steady, but his eyes find mine across the room. To the ones who run the routes, take the hits. Couldn't throw without him. Laughter. Applause. My turn next. Outstanding receiver nod. I keep it short. Team first. Always. Dinner's torture. Jake seated with boosters. Me at the kids' table with underclassmen. Becca's there. Radiant in emerald, arm through his during photos. Jealousy flares, hot and irrational. I slip out for air. Balcony overlooking the lot, stars pricking the black. Footsteps. Jake. Escaping the circus? He leans on the rail, tie loosened. I shrug. Needed a breather. He turns close. Me too. All of it, feels like a mask. His hand cups my jaw, thumb on my lip. You're the real. Kiss then, slow burning, snowflakes melting on our lashes. Romantic, reckless, humanity in the hush. Inside, applause swells. Award for sportsmanship, some booster's niece presenting. We rejoin, flushed but composed. But as desserts circulate, Tommy rises, mic in hand, impromptu roast. To Jake and his special connection with Flash. What is it? Bromance of the year. Laughter roars, good-natured, but Jake stiffens beside me. Becca's smile falters. I force a chuckle, but the room tilts, suspense coiling like a spring. Jake stands, glass raised. To Ethan, best damn receiver, best damn friend. Emphasis on friend slices. Clink, but his eyes scream more. Drive home's quiet, tension thick as fog. That roast. I start. He grips the wheel. Ignore it, idiots. But doubt festers. At my door he lingers. Night's not over. Pulls me inside. Kisses fierce. Clothes shedding like inhibitions. No, wait. Boundaries hold. We stop at the edge. Tangled on the futon. Breaths ragged. Soon, he promises. When it's right. I nod, believing. But dawn brings the call. Coach's office? 8 a.m. rumors? No scout updates, pro day invites. Jake's glowing. Mine's a maybe. Celebration coffee turns confessional. Becca's pushing. Dinner tomorrow. Family thing. Betrayals whisper. Go. I say voice steady. It's fine. But it's not. As he leaves, phone buzzing again the seed sprouts thorns. Christmas break descended on Elmwood like a truce. Campus emptying to ghosts, snow piling drifts against dorms. The team scattering to hometowns like shrapnel from a dud grenade. I headed to Cleveland, Greyhound rumbling through gray miles. Mom's hug at the station tight as worry. Trailer park unchanged. Chain link fences sagging, holiday lights frayed but defiant. Air sharp with chimney smoke. Mom worked fewer shifts now, mill slowing, but her eyes still carried the weight of bills unpaid. Proud of you, kid? She said over meatloaf and mashed, clipping articles about the quarter's run. I smiled, evaded questions about girls. Focus on ball, ma. But nights alone in my old room, posters peeling. I'd text Jake. Miss the field. Miss you. His replies. Counting days. Farm's hell without your routes. Hearts hidden in emojis are lifeline. He was in rural hell, baling hay in sub-zero. Dad's lectures on legacy droning like a bad halftime. Becca visited. Texts confirmed. Holiday party at Harlan's. Cozy. Jealousy nod. Visceral. But I shoved it down. Ran trails along the lake. Breath clouding. Pounding pavement till lungs burned. Drama brewed in silence. Calls at midnight. His voice low past creaking floorboards. She cornered me. Asked if we're, my gut iced. What did you say? Pause eternal. Nothing's happened. But she knows something's off. Suspense strung taut. Would he crack? Confess? Or fold under family eyes? New Year's Eve. I hosted a low-key bash. High school buds. Beers around a fire pit in the yard. Bottle rockets fizzing into the black. Phone silent till countdown. Jake's FaceTime. Face flushed from a party I imagined glittering with her. 10. 9. We synced chants across states. His grin cracking the miles. Happy New Year, Flash. To us. Kiss blown through the screen, virtual but vital. But post-midnight, a photo slips in. Him and Becca, mistletoe hovering, lips a whisper apart. Caption, family tradition. No hugs and kisses, but the stab lands, betrayal's first bloom, petal sharp. Semis prep resumed in January, team trickling back, gym echoing with grunts and ghosts of break bloat. Florida Tech rematch? No, now it was powerhouse Oregon State in Portland, Rose Bowl prelims, stakes stratospheric. Scouts swarmed practices, clipboards like vultures. Jake thrived, arm-whipping lasers. I flew, but shadows lingered. His glances evasive, touches fleeting. Becca clung tighter. Study dates that stretched late, her car parked outside his place. Just clearing air, he swore during a stolen lunch at the diner. Fries cooling untouched. She suspects. Thinks it's another girl. Irony bittered my coffee. Tell her the truth. Bold words, but fear choked me. Truth meant exposure, dreams doused. X Factor came mid-Jan. Team meeting, coach dimming lights for film. Discipline, boys. Rumors floating, distractions. Eyes on Jake and me or paranoia. Post-meeting, Tommy pulls him aside. Words muffled but tone grave. Later, Jake's truck at my curb, engine idling. Tommy heard. From Becca. Thinks we're messing around with a cheerleader. Relief mixed dread. Better than the truth. He snorted, but pain etched deep. How long we hiding, Ethan? Feels like dying slow. I climbed in, hand on his thigh. Till after bowls. Then we talk, real talk. Promise sealed with a kiss. Heated but haunted. Portland trip was spectacle incarnate. First-class bus to the airport. Hotel on the Willamette with river views. Welcome banquet schmoozing alums. Jake and I roomed together. Deliberate, coaches nod to leadership. Nights, after lights out, we'd tangle under sheets. Whispers weaving dreams. Apartment in Columbus, pro camps side by side. Normal, he'd sigh, head on my chest. Us normal. But morning brought Becca's care package. Cookies, note, kick-ass captain. Love B. Found by housekeeping, left on the dresser. He crumpled it, but the poison seeped. Game day. Rose Bowl adjacent. Arena thumping with bass. Oregon State's Beavers in green-black menace. Stands a sea of yellow, our fans traveled deep. Kickoff under floodlights, air crisp with pine. They scored first, trick play, reverse to their slot, 68 yards. Jake steadied. Bootleg to me, 41-yard strike. Tommy rumbling in. 7-7. Halftime tied 14-all, but their D-adjusted, zone flooding seems my routes clogged. Third. Pick six off Jake, him slamming turf, helmet flung in rage. 21-14. Huddle's electric, his eyes blaze. Flash one-on-one me. Burn him. Fourth. Down 28-21. For a clock left. No huddle, tempo frantic. Screen to me, yak for 22. Then post. Corner bites inside. I stutter step, go long. Jake heaves, 50 yards, moonball. I track it, leap over 2, haul it down at the 5. TD. Tie. Overtime marathon. Field positions yo-yo, defenses iron. Double OT, ball at the 10, fake 34. Jake to the corner. Incomplete. Third down, rollout, me flaring. Throw wob. Deflected. Fourth. Keeper. He dives, inches short. Their turn. Stop him cold. Back to us, third and goal, 0-05. Jake scans, calls it. Slant. Me dragging the slot. Hike, blitz collapses. He spins. Flips it backward, me wheeling back. Snag it blind, toe in bounds. Touchdown. 35-28. Eruption. We collapse in the end zone, his body over mine, shield and salvation. We own this. Roar shared, souls bared. But victory's pyre. Post-game presser. Jake fielding MVP hype. Scouts circling like sharks. Becca flies in unannounced. Surprise from friends. Hotel lobby. Her hugging him, lips on cheek, eyes on me. Accusatory. Great game, Ethan. Venom sweet. Jake extracts, but fracture lines show. Flight home, her beside him. Me across the aisle, pretending sleep. Back in Elmwood. Bowl berth confirmed. Fiesta against Texas in Glendale. Elation soured by rift. Jake skips our river spot. Text sparse. Family stuff. Translation. Becca's grip tightening. I run solo. Lake winds whipping. Betrayal festering. Not his infidelity, but the slow erosion of us. Climax brewing. Valentine's looms. Her plans public. Dinner at the inn. I confront over coffee. Voice cracking. Choose Jake. He blanches. Not fair. She's safe. Knife twist. And I'm silence damns. I love you, he whispers, but follows with, can't lose everything. That night, storm rages. Thunder like cannon fire. He's at my door, soaked, desperate. Don't make me. We clash, words hurled like Hail Marys. Coward, I yell. Scared, he fires back. Then collapse. Embrace fierce, kisses bruising, bodies yielding. Boundary crossed. Not lurid, but intimate, souls merging in the tempest. Dawn. Tangled. Tender. We'll tell them, he vows. Hope flickers. But betrayal strikes true. Anonymous email to coach. Grainy photo from the hotel balcony. Our silhouettes unmistakable. Protect the program. Hell unleashes. Meeting summoned. Jake and me side by side. Faces ashen. Coach's disappointment cuts deeper than rage. Sons, it's a distraction. A liability. No firing, bull run too vital, but probation. Separate rooms, monitored practices. Counseling. Team fractures. Whispers venomous. Tommy averts eyes. Underclassmen idolize shattered. Becca confronts Jake publicly, cafeteria. Tears streaming. How long? He stammers denials. She slaps the photo down, storms out. Fallout cascades. His dad calls, Bible verses laced with fury. Disgrace. Scouts pull back. Image concerns. My mom hears via Elmwood gossip. Voicemails pleading, come home, baby. We love you anyway. Human cost tallied. Dreams deferred. Bonds broken. We cling clandestine. Notes in lockers, glances across fields. Romantic defiance, but suspense strangles. Bowl week nears, pressure volcanic. One game, Jake says, hand in mine under bleachers. Win it, then world. I nod, but fear whispers. What if we lose more than the game? Fiesta Bowl week in Glendale was a fever dream. Desert sun baking the practice fields, hotel ballroom echoing with strategy sessions. The air-conditioned chill of press rooms where mics thrust like spears. Texas Longhorns awaited. Burnt orange juggernaut, Heisman hopeful at QB. A roster stacked with 5 stars. We were the Cinderella scrubs, underdogs with hearts on sleeves. But the scandal stain lingered like cheap cologne. Media sniffed. Elmwood's off-field drama? Does it derail the fairy tale? Coach stonewalled, but eyes bored into us. Jake dodging personal questions. Me mumbling about focus. Nights, we'd sneak balcony meets. His room 2 doors down. Whispers over the saguaro silhouette. After this, he'd breathe, fingers laced with mine. We go public. Fuck the noise. Love's vow, humanistic anchor in the storm. Team morale teetered. Linemen sullen. Receivers tight-lipped. Tommy's jokes fallen flat. Counseling sessions, mandatory, with a gray-haired shrink from ASU. Were awkward probes. How's trust? We'd nod. Scripted. Solid. But privately, fractures ached. Beckett ghosted. Town scandal her exile. But her parting shot echoed. Social media post. Veiled. Some heroes wear masks. Jake deleted the app. I ran Dawn miles in the Phoenix sprawl. Pavement pounding out rage. Mom wired strength. Be you, Ethan. Always enough. Dad? Silent ghost. But in dreams, his absence fueled the fire. 0 hour. Game night. State Farm Stadium, a coliseum of 70,000. Hooks and horns blaring. Snowbirds in cowboy hats waving foam fingers. We took the tunnel to Eye of the Tiger. Adrenaline a drug. Kickoff. Texas strikes lightning. 80-yard jaunt on their RB. 7-0 early. Jake answers. Play action boot. Me on a wheel 42 yards. TD dive by Tommy. 7-7. First half a slugfest. Their QB scrambling like a demon, us countering with grit. My sideline grab on 3rd down, inches from turf, holding for the first. Halftime. 14-14. Coaches fire. This is America. Boys. Underdogs rise. 3rd quarter cracks open. Texas blitzes, sacks Jake. Fumble, scooped for 6. 21-14. Huddles a powder keg. His lip bloodied, eyes feral. Flash, deep post. Clear it out. Next drive. No huddle fury. I burn vertical, safety trailing smoke, ball arcs perfect, 55 yards. Me diving untouched. Score. 21-21. Crowd splits, Eagles faithful chanting our name. Fourth, traded bombs, them up 28-24. 6 o'clock left. Our ball, 18-yard line. Jake under center, calls the audible. Eyes lock. You and me. Hike. Coverage soft. Slant to me, yards after catch, spinning into the flat. First down. Clock bleeds. 3 o'clock. Screen, Tommy stuffed. Timeout. 2 o'clock. 2nd and 8. Draw gains 3. 3rd and 5. I curl, DB mugged, but Jake anticipates. Dime drops, contested grab over the shoulder. 35-28. Lead. Texas heaves Hail Marys. 50-yard heave picked by our corner. Kneel down. Victory. 35-31. Bedlam, confetti blizzard, Gatorade baptisms, teammates hoisting Jake like a trophy. He finds me in the scrum, pulls me into the crush, helmet hidden. We did it. You did it. Tears mix with sweat, our moments stolen amid glory. Post-game. MVP to Jake, interviews gushing clutch gene. But in the locker, as champagne sprays, a reporter corners us. Ethan, rumors of team tension true? Jake steps up, family sticks. That's us. Deflection, but eyes say more. Flight home's euphoric haze, trophy gleaming overhead, stories swelling. But touchdown in Columbus brings crash. Press conference swarm, dad's call. First in years, saw the game. Proud, son. Gruff but real. Mom's waiting at baggage, hug bone crushing. Jake's family? Frost. Dad boycotts the parade. Shame on the program. Becca's silence deafening. We march downtown anyway. Elmwood streets lined with kids in jerseys. Floats creaking under papier-mâché eagles. Jake and I wave from the lead truck, hands brushing on the seat. Secret victory lap. Afterglow fades fast. Pro day invites roll. Jake to the combine, me to regionals. But scandal simmers. Anonymous leaks to the dispatch. Eagles' secret romance? Coach calls emergency huddle. Clear the air, or it clears you. Jake nods. Resolute. Presser scheduled, joint, raw. Podiums side by side. Flashes blinding. He speaks first. Ethan and I, we're more than teammates. Partners. In every way. Words land like a bomb. Gasps, shutters clicking. My turn. Love's not a distraction. It's the drive. Questions barrage. Coming out now, why? Jake. No more hiding. This is us. American as apple pie and underdogs. Humanity radiates. Vulnerability met with. Not thunder, but murmurs. Some cheers, some jeers, but truth breathes free. Fallout's a whirlwind. Boosters balk. Dad hangs up mid-rant. Your mother's rolling. But mom? Knew it, baby. Doors open. Teammates trickle support. Tommy texts balls, man. Beers? Scouts waver. Jake's stock dips. But a coach from the Browns calls. Grit over glamour. Becca? Apology note. Hurt, but happy for you. Grow. Betrayal transmuted to grace. Spring thaws Elmwood. Graduation looms. Caps tossed under blooming dogwoods. Jake and I pack boxes. His to a starter farm gig near Dayton, mine to OSU for masters. Last night on the river. Bonfire small. Just us. Mores charring on sticks. Simple celebration. He teases, echoing my old plea. I laugh, pull him close. You turned it spectacle. Best kind. Kiss under stars, no masks, romantic, enduring. Years spin, he coaches high school, I rehab pros in Columbus. Weekends blur the miles. Farm suppers. Lake runs. A ring exchanged on that frozen riverbank. Vows whispered to the wind. Kids come later, adopted, towhead terrors in tiny cleats. Scandal? Footnote in Elmwood lore. A tale of courage over conformity. We win bowls in life. Quiet victories. Love's steady route. Looking back, that championship hook wasn't our end. It was the snap count. Jake turned simple to spectacle. But in the roar, we found our play. Bold, unbroken. And in America's messy heart, that's the real glory.